Today, I'm starting my biggest project yet, Nutventure. Nutventure is a co-op, class-based horde shooter where you and your friends play as heavily armed nuts, defending the queen nut against endless waves of forest creatures. The idea is simple. Pick your favorite nut hero, each with their own unique weapons and abilities, survive increasingly difficult waves, unlock powerful upgrades, and become ridiculously overpowered. The goal of this devlog series is to show everything, the good parts, the bad parts, and all the mistakes in between. No fake progress, no polished marketing, just real game development. Right now, the project is still in its early stages, but I already have a clear vision of what I want it to become. Fast-paced combat, satisfying progression, goofy characters, and a game that's simply fun to play with friends. So let's stop talking and start making Nutventure. Firstly, I created the first playable character, a goofy-looking hazelnut with big eyes and tiny limbs. I wanted the design to be simple, funny, and instantly recognizable. I also animated the basics, including idle, running, and jumping. Next, I integrated Steam networking, so the multiplayer features would work properly from the start. After that, I implemented the first collectible items, like apples and pears. At this stage, I was mainly testing the pickup and throwing mechanics to make sure everything felt responsive. You can also see the inventory hotbar at the bottom of the screen. Every item has its own type, icon, 3D model, and maximum stack size. Finally, I added a sprint bar to complete the basic player movement system. At this point, I felt the game needed more variety, so I decided to add more playable characters. Each one is designed to have its own personality, weapon, and playstyle. Let's take a look at them. In the next clip, you can see that the game has made some noticeable visual progress. I added terrain, grass, and started building the overall environment to make the world feel more alive. I also implemented a health system, meaning players can now take damage, die, and turn into a hilariously broken ragdoll. On top of that, I gave the UI a complete overhaul to make it cleaner and easier to read. But one of my favorite additions is the chest system. You can now find and open wooden chests scattered around the map, each containing an item that you can collect. This is only the beginning though. My plan is to add multiple chest tiers such as common, rare, and epic, along with item rarities. That way, finding loot becomes much more rewarding and exciting, giving players something to look forward to every run. Here you can see the game's lobby, which acts as the main hub where players can choose their hero before starting a match. My goal is to make every character feel like a unique class, each with its own playstyle. To begin with, I gave them different weapons to make them feel distinct. I also implemented the core combat mechanics, including shooting, bullet spawning, damage, and bullet hole decals, making combat feel much more satisfying. The next step is to add unique abilities, special weapons, and class-specific mechanics so every hero offers a different experience. Next, I added these dumb little enemies that constantly chase the player. If they get close enough, they'll start dealing damage, but you can fight back by shooting them. Each enemy also has a health bar above its head, making it easier to track how much damage you've dealt. I also improved the rolling mechanic to make it feel smoother. However, I still think it's a bit too slow. My goal is to turn it into a proper dodge mechanic that's fast, responsive, and satisfying to use in combat. The next step was replacing the old bean-shaped enemy with something that would give the game a lot more personality. While the bean worked as a placeholder for testing, it looked bland and didn't really fit the direction I wanted for Nutventure. So I replaced it with a rabbit, which already makes the world feel much more alive. After importing the model, I set up all of its animations, including running, attacking, taking damage, and dying. I then rewrote the enemy logic so it behaves just like the previous prototype. It chases the player, attacks when it gets close enough, and can be defeated by shooting it. Even though the behavior is currently simple, it provides a solid foundation for more advanced enemy types later on. To make combat feel more satisfying, I also added blood particle effects whenever an enemy is hit. It's a small detail, but it gives much better visual feedback and makes every shot feel more impactful. Overall, this change made the game feel far less like a prototype and much closer to an actual game. That's it for the first devlog. In the next episode, I'll be adding cosmetics and character customization, making the characters even cuter, introducing new guns, melee combat, and 3 brand new playable characters. I'll also start expanding the class system so every hero has a more unique role and playstyle. There's still a lot to build, but the game is already starting to take shape. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next devlog.